year 1612, England was gripped by fear, not just fear of witches, but of secret Catholics and religious rebellion. King James I sat on the throne, deeply paranoid and obsessed with rooting out both witchcraft and Catholic influence. To him, the two often went hand in hand. Though the Protestant Church of England was now the official religion, many people, especially in the north, still clung to the old Catholic faith. In places like Lancashire, Mass was held in secret and loyalty to the crown questioned. In this tense atmosphere, 3 women from the village of Salmesbury were accused of shocking crimes, dark magic, murder, and even cannibalism. And the most disturbing part, they were accused from somebody from within their own family. The county of Lancashire was known for 2 things: its strong Catholic roots and its lawlessness. To the government officials in London, it was a place where control was fragile and dangerous beliefs still thrived. And in the village of Samlesbury, this fear took the shape of a witch trial. 3 women, Jane Southworth, her mother-in-law, Janet Beerley, and her sister-in-law, Ellen Beerley, were all arrested and charged with witchcraft. But these accusations didn't come from angry neighbours or frightened villagers. They came from a girl named Grace Sowerbutts, who was just 14 years old and related to all 3 of the women. Grace was Jeanette's granddaughter and the niece of Jane and Ellen. Her claims weren't just disturbing, they were horrifying in their detail. She said the women had tried to kill her and that they attempted to smother her beneath a heap of straw, holding her down until she could barely breathe. And she also claimed that they lured her into remote places where they tried to convince her to become one of them, a witch. But when she refused, they turned on her. Her testimony painted the 3 women as monstrous. She described how one of them stole a newly buried baby from the grave. The child's body, she said, was boiled in a pot until the flesh fell away from the bones, and the bones were crushed and the fat skimmed from the surface to make a dark magical ointment, said to let them fly through the night to secret gatherings. And the flesh, according to Grace, they ate it. She said the women could turn into animals, black dogs or hares, and that they danced with the devil in moonlit clearings. She described their meetings with black things that spoke in strange tongues and promised them power. Her account was more than just an accusation, it was a performance, one packed with the kind of nightmarish detail found in the sermons and the pamphlets of the time. To many, it was convincing, too convincing. On August 19, 1612, the women were brought before the court at Lancaster Castle. The 3 poor women must have been terrified. Lancaster had the nickname the Hanging Court. It was the same session of the assizes that would later send 10 others, the so-called Pendle witches, to their deaths. The judge, Sir Edward Bromley, had a clear mission from the Crown to secure convictions in the witchcraft cases and stamp out the last stronghold of the Catholic resistance. The accused women denied everything. Jane Southworth, in particular, insisted on a full investigation. She asked that Grace's story be properly examined. Her defence was strong, but Grace's testimony was stronger, or at least at first. She spoke with confidence. Her story was full of drama and darkness, witches' sabbats, black spirits, and dark rituals. The crowd in the courtroom listened and were spellbound, but behind the judge's calm face, doubts were starting to form. Something about Grace's words didn't sit quite right with Judge Bromley. Her story sounded too rehearsed, too close to what was printed in the sensational stories of the time. He ordered a private investigation away from the public and away from the pressure. 2 local magistrates, Edward Chisnell and William Lee, questioned Grace behind closed doors, and there the story just fell apart. Grace confessed that she'd made it all up. She said she had been told what to say by a man known only to her as Thompson. He wasn't just anyone, he was a Catholic priest. The man was later identified as Father Christopher Southworth, a Jesuit and a relative of the Southworth family. Like many Catholic priests in England at the time, he was living in hiding, secretly offering Mass to families who refused to conform to the Protestant Church. Grace claimed that Father Southworth had coached her, that he wanted revenge on Jane Southworth and her family for attending Anglican church, something seen by Catholics as a deep betrayal. A false witchcraft accusation, if it led to a conviction, would destroy them and expose the Protestant system as cruel and unjust. Whether Grace's confession was entirely voluntary is still debated, but in the court's eyes, the truth had been revealed. When Grace's confession was brought back to the courtroom, it changed everything. Her retraction was read aloud. The crowd quieted, and the performance of the original testimony faded under the weight of its collapse. But something else may have also helped in the scales, in favour of the accused, something unspoken and yet deeply understood by everybody in the room. Unlike the Pendle witches, who were mostly Catholics or suspected of being so, the women of Samlesbury had started attending Protestant services, and in the eyes of the court, they had chosen their loyalty to the crown. They had conformed, and that may have made all the difference. In contrast, the Pendle accused were known for clinging to the old religion, and many of them were hanged. In the Salmesbury case, Judge Bromley didn't deliver a fiery speech. He simply turned to the jury and made his expectations clear, and the women were acquitted. A rare outcome in a time when fear often ruled over evidence. Though cleared by the court, the three women didn't walk away untouched. In the small communities like Samlesbury, the stain of witchcraft didn't just vanish with a verdict. Jane Southworth returned to Samlesbury Lower Hall, a grand but weathered manor house that had seen both Catholic rebellion and Protestant conformity within its walls. Her family name remained known in the area, but the trial had left a mark. Whispers followed, suspicion lingered, and in villages like Samlesbury, the rumours had long legs. Today the hall still stands. It's a beautiful building that you can go and visit. It's a heritage site, a place for weddings, and yes, for ghost stories. The events of 1612 aren't legend. They're part of England's legal history, a chilling reminder of what can happen when religion and politics and fear collide.